Introduction to medical cannabis. The cannabis plant has been cultivated for thousands of years and is widely accepted as originating in Asia. Cannabis was first used medicinally over 5,000 years ago, making it one of the world's oldest medicinal plants. Cannabis was first rigorously tested for medical purposes in the mid-1800s. Early experiments found it to be valuable in the treatment of migraine, neuropathic pain, and vomiting. Cannabis use became illegal in Canada in 1923 and in the United States in 1937 due to misperceptions about its effects. The medical community largely accepted the role of cannabis, but it became impractical to prescribe it. However, in 2000, the Canadian courts decided that it was no longer appropriate to deny patients the use of cannabis for medical purposes. The legal use of medical cannabis in Canada began again with the Marijuana Medical Access Regulations in 2001. These regulations allowed Canadians with AIDS and other illnesses to consume cannabis for medical purposes with an authorization from their healthcare professional. This was followed by the Marijuana for Medical Purposes Regulations in 2014, which allowed private businesses to get licenses to sell cannabis for medical purposes. This made cannabis more accessible to patients in need. In 2016, the regulations were updated and replaced with the Access to Cannabis for Medical Purposes Regulations. Access to cannabis increased further, and it became available to more and more patients. Then, in 2018, the Cannabis Act was passed, which legalized the use of cannabis for both medical and recreational purposes. By September 2018, more than 300,000 Canadians had registered with licensed producers of medical cannabis. So, what is cannabis and how does it work? It starts with the flowers of the cannabis plant, which have hair-like structures called trichomes, which are coated with a sticky resin containing cannabinoids, the active ingredients of cannabis. Cannabinoids are also naturally produced by the human body. Those naturally produced are called endocannabinoids. The cannabinoids produced by plants are called phytocannabinoids. The cannabis plant produces more than 100 phytocannabinoids. Two of the best understood ones are called THC, or tetrahydrocannabinol, and CBD, or cannabidiol. THC is responsible for many of the medical effects of cannabis, including improvement in sleep, pain relief, relief of chemotherapy-related nausea and vomiting, appetite stimulation, and decrease of muscle spasms. In higher doses, THC may cause the euphoric side effect that we associate with the recreational use of cannabis. CBD does not have a euphoric side effect and can help improve sleep, reduce pain, nausea, anxiety, inflammation, and seizures. You may be asking why THC and CBD have these effects. Recall that THC and CBD are cannabinoids, and our bodies naturally produce some kinds of cannabinoids. In our brains and bodies, we have receptors for cannabinoids, referred to as CB1 and CB2. Together, these receptors and the endocannabinoids, referred to as ligands, are the key components of the endocannabinoid system. The endocannabinoid system has many functions. It affects the body's control over inflammation, sleep, pain, memory, digestion, and more. Phytocannabinoids from cannabis plants, like the endocannabinoids produced by the body, can interact directly with the cannabinoid receptors CB1 and CB2. Think of all the endocannabinoid receptors as tiny locks and the cannabinoids as keys. These keys unlock the receptors to produce effects in your body. Remember, the most well-understood cannabinoids are THC and CBD. Different types of cannabis contain different levels of THC and CBD. Cannabinoid products, such as dried flowers, oils, and soft gels, also tend to have either more THC, more CBD, or a balance between the two. Because different patients have different needs, a variety of products are available. Many patients benefit from taking more than one type, such as during the day versus at night, or for different symptoms. These products can be consumed in different ways. Cannabis flowers can be consumed by inhalation, such as by using a vaporizer. Cannabis oils and soft gel pills are ingested. These methods of consumption may have different effects. For example, they differ in how long it takes to feel their effects and how long those effects last. Talk to your healthcare professional to learn more about how medical cannabis can be used safely in the management of your health condition.